get into our Falco Ditto Stadium. Platform is not only going to help us out so much, but it is going to help us out with these punishes a little bit. So we'll absolutely be thankful that we're able to get out here. Let them reset as well. Because Falco's shine was, or side B was a bit high, we were able to get the punish. Oh. So that was a great tech. We just want to make sure we get our punish there. So this person's playing a great positional game with me. Ooh, that was cool. Notice I can grab the edge, go out with back air. I can go a little bit farther than I could if I was on the stage. That's unfortunate. That's certainly not what they meant to do. They meant to run in there, of course. We're going to be getting on a stage with no platforms to break their punishes. They did have a great start. Now, before they took off, I was able to go out just in case they went for something else. Notice I am running close just to try and catch them out. That was good. Whoa. Interesting. They wanted to catch my roll from before. Definitely going to that edge. Person seems to be struggling getting back on stage from the edge. We're just going to laser for a bit of extra damage just in case. Now again, notice what I'm kind of doing. I'm coming down with this laser right here. Well, or I'm dying because they were still invincible. So that was not my best time to start talking. But so I'm always making sure that I'm dodging their laser, coming out with mine. Didn't think they'd do it. So again, I'm always trying to cover center here. Same thing as before. Grab the edge so they can't go in. Then I have just enough time to go out. Get them. I think they were resetting their controller maybe. Yeah. A little bit too frisky by the edge. And that's going to go ahead and get my stock eliminated. You want to make sure you confirm where they're going before you get that punish there. Had to react to that pretty early to get that kill. Now, I kind of want to make sure I can explain what was going on with kind of these laser mix-ups on this stage. Now, what you're making sure you want to do, Falco can do a laser where he pulls his legs up and he avoids everything but the highest laser. He can avoid mid lasers, low lasers, and so what you want to do as Falco is shoot a high laser to try and beat that out. What you want to make sure that you're doing is either doing a high laser to beat that, going high yourself, or hitting the Falco. Unless they shoot a high laser themselves, then you can just run under it. So then you're no longer able to laser. So what happens in that laser mix-up that we were playing on FD is I'm like, well, will you be able to jump over this? If yes, will I try to cover that out, or do I think you'll wait? If I'm not sure, then I'll just go high. Or if I lose the laser mix-up, I go high so I can come down with a reset. You saw me trying to go for that, and then I got killed for it, but you saw the laser did come out and hit the person before they were able to hit me. So you saw the right idea coming in from that. And you saw how platforms interacted with the punish game as well. When I didn't have to worry about that, I could do more running shine for my punishes, and then I could also kind of just trip the person up, get them off stage a little bit more. You saw that me focusing on covering them going to the edge is really vital, and grabbing the edge sometimes in certain positions, depending on their double jump height, can allow me to go out and still get the punish on them too. So making sure that you're thinking about exactly how low they are, exactly how far they can go, and their percent, because if the back air hits them at 0, it's not really going to kill them, but if it hits them at 100, it is going to kill them. You have to make sure you're thinking about all these things a lot of the time. This person was doing a decent job of getting some take laser turnaround up tilts, but they were doing it a bit too close sometimes, so you can see when that worked and when that didn't. You can also see that they went for a laser grab. They got that. It's very strong by the edge, but I did go for a roll a little bit early. Then I saw they were covering that, so I kind of just waited. Could have lasered them out of shield, decided to just take my time a little bit more there, let them go, and then go for some lasers and some pressure, reversal of pressure like that. But yeah, you kind of, again, you saw like how you can react to someone when in a tech chase situation with down air or forward smash. You saw a couple of different ways to combo, how you can go for forward air down smash, which I did before on the first Saga Stadium, or I can just kind of keep down airing them, or I can just kind of push them up into the air. Very different routes, but they're all very useful in different situations, or even if someone's expecting one, going for another one can be really good for you. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I really want to talk to you guys about, but I think you kind of saw the way I was playing around Shield 2, how I would space around it, or I would just like do a late aerial, and that can be really good. Falco Shine out of Shield is going to be slower than Fox's Shine out of Shield, and I believe also Sheik's Nair out of Shield. It's going to be slower than that too. So you have to make sure that you're, as the defending Falco, you're not too greedy with it, but as the attacking Falco, that you're making sure you're frame tight enough so that you're going to be okay. Anyway, GG's to, I believe, Poompa, and thank you guys for watching. Oh my, another Puff. Let's do it. Falco, Puff, Yoshi story. This is going to be a good stage for Falco, but I almost got rested in the beginning. That being said, we're going to try and laser to keep the Puff down. Of course, they can get around that there. It makes sense. We're going to make sure we try to come down with our laser ambiguously. And I didn't think that was going to kill. I just wanted to do it because it looked cool. Hadn't gone for a throw yet. We're going to just let Puff deal with that. Oh, if the laser hit, I think we were okay. I think that might kill. So jab up smash can kill. Even though you're not Fox, you can still use a Fox type of punish sometimes. We're going to make sure we roll a little bit. Now, that's going to be really important when we are... Oh, wow, they got that. Didn't think they'd have time. Just going to charge this. I wonder if they tried to rest me. Not sure. Anyway, Puff's sitting on the ground a lot, so we can laser a lot pretty freely. Then we can also just grab pretty freely. Oh, they went right under my move. That was weird. They're really good at... Their DI is really good, so I'm not sure how much we can get off this throws. I was wondering if that was on purpose. So again, we're going to be getting... Because of this stage, we're going to be getting a lot of good kills here. That you normally wouldn't get on a lot of others. So I need to be getting these laser hits to get a conversion. So Puff wanted to come in to challenge me on the ground. They stayed on the ground. I'm going for the up smash. Pretty risky. I could have lost the stock for that. Notice I'm staying on the platform and lasering. Makes it very hard for Puff to come at the angle to attack me. Notice I'm back airing as soon as the Puff goes into the air, even though they haven't done that much this game. And the reason for that is because I'm always ready for Puff to attack at that specific angle, so I can always counterattack them out of the air. Then I'm going to be switching into Marth, which makes sense. We're going to be going in on Pokemon Stadium. We're going to have room for Marth to move around. Nair is going to be good. I did kind of guess that the Marth was going to be coming out of the air. As you guys can kind of see, they had good SDI on the Marth too. Not really surprising. We're going to delay our hit as much as possible so they're not able to grab the edge out of our down air. And that's going to get our kill here. Hit them so we can move away. We want to make sure we time our dare to absolutely edge cancel. They saw me going up before, so they're going to get the punish out. We did not get our fast fall, so we're going to have to reset. What do they do when we hit them with a few lasers? Oh. A little ambitious with our forward air. Needed to go lower to get out. And that's going to be a clean kill from them. So you can kind of see, because I missed an L cancel and then made a few other poor decisions, I was going to get killed. That was good on Blank's part. Now we're going to be going back in. I'm shooting mid lasers. It's going to be much easier to power shield. I let them go low. Not my best decision. A little bit late. That's a wall jump instead of a back air. We're just going to go high. We notice we tech away, so we can always have more stuff to come out. We always have more room to get something out. And again, look at that SDI, so they are going to be able to live there. We're just going to take our laser, and then we're going to go back. So I saw them covering me high. Now I'm moving away. Have my laser finally set up again. Avoided the invincibility. They got their power shield. Almost got them going onto the platform. Didn't really deserve to get that shine. They did outplay my spacing there. So I was a little bit late on my refresh. Saw they weren't, had the right idea. I'm not going to let them grab the edge this time. Oh. Cross up that DI. And we're just going to go for an early down air. Now, of course, we could have just stayed on the edge. We could have just messed with them like that. But, you know, sometimes you just want to make sure you get the kill, and they might not be ready to tech. It's just kind of a mix-up you can do when you're invincible. Marth might not be early because he wants to get on stage. Didn't have any other options, so I thought we'd just go for it, get the kill. They were not able to tech because they were actually behind us, not touching the wall, so that worked out pretty well in our favor. But we also could have just grabbed the edge as a result of that. Anyway, so the Puff game, you saw they played really grounded, perhaps the Marth influence. We're not entirely sure, but we do know that we were able to laser them on the ground and space moves like down air, and also just grab a little bit more effectively. You saw the Puff had really good DI, so we weren't able to get the best conversions off of it, but occasionally when we were able to get some, we got really juicy ones off that. But still, we also put the Puff in some awkward situations, kind of regardless. We saw that when they started playing in the air a little more, we actually got our back here in a good position. We were able to get some good damage, and then hit them more as a result of that. When you saw the Marth game, you saw that I was shooting a couple lasers, then kind of waiting a moment, let them see if they get their power shields. You notice they weren't getting so many, partly because I was shooting such low lasers. They were also doing the crouch power shield method, which means if they're crouching and then they shield, it mainly works if the laser goes above Marth. If Marth is down here, the laser has to go above him for him to get the easier power shield. Because we were shooting low, he didn't really get any value out of that. They could have done dash power shield to get more value out of going for power shield so reliably, but if they were wrong then, they would be in trouble. Even if they were right, I can still shoot low ones and then I can go over them. So that's something that I was kind of playing around too. You kind of saw that if I made some mistakes in the punish game, I'd get reversaled, and also the edge guard wasn't the strongest it could have been, so that was a bit of an issue for me. But you also saw that if I re-grabbed it, you know, the right time a little bit differently, then I could get some punishes as well. So you guys can adjust that a little bit in your mind, or you can just play a little more safer against Marth if you do hit him off the stage. You can kind of see what I was going for and try that out yourself in like an Uncle Punch save state and see how that works. But anyway, you saw that some grabs were working out. You saw that how I was pressuring the person. You saw that Nair was really good at catching him out of the air. You saw they wanted to stop jumping as a result. You saw that they were getting on a platform, how I was trying to catch them out of the air with a back air or something like that. And so you really get an idea of how the matchup should be flowing from Falco's end. Keeping the lasers out, make sure you're positioning yourself always right outside of Marth's jab range and inside of Marth's jab range, and making sure that he's like always putting up a shield, and then from there you go for grab or you can go for pressure. And you know, I'm always taking a moment before I hit him so Marth's shield goes down, so even if he does nothing, I still hit Marth coming out of shield, and if he rolls right away, I'm still punishing him too. Anyway, GG's to blank, and hopefully that stuff makes sense to you guys. Try to give you a lot of good valuable information there because we got some good matchups.